Those never-ending days, barely stirred by light sleep. You'll be home at Christmas, sure, and we'll grab a pint then or something. When you told me and the lads the news first, it all made perfect sense. All off our heads a wet tent festival sets. Go out and see that world, man. Come back with no regrets. Words I should have said, but they got stuck in my chest. And I actually got as far as the pub door, and I saw the balloons, and I heard the laughter of the lads on the dance floor belting out those tunes. But I couldn't go in. This couldn't be the last night, and I couldn't say goodbye. And maybe we should all just fuck off to Australia's coastline, and we work in mines and get racist and sunburned and rotten inside, and leave our mums heartbroken at home, telling ourselves we left because the rent or the cost of diesel or whatever. But it's really because we miss that part of ourselves that never existed. Those stories you tell at 7:30 on a Sunday morning that you hope no one remembers. Listening to songs that no one likes. Being versions of ourselves that nobody's really proud of. But it's fucking brilliant at the same time. And we're not going to bed. Cause we know these are the nights we'll smile about in 10 years' time. When we've wives and kids to mind and the weight of actual responsibility on our minds. Blind to the sting of 2 long nights in our eyes. We took sides and fights, but we switched all the time. And I swore I'd die by your side down the 5-a-side. I was so alive inside. And you took off your top, so I took off mine. And we let our harmless lies escape into the brightening sky.
Been in New York for 7 years. So like NYC? NYC currently 7 years. This is actually quite interesting to me. Ireland could be like a place you actually really do love and adore in a way, because you've got Sun and Jupiter sandwiching the region, but then you also have Saturn descendant at in this location. This is like a constant challenge on you as a person to become more mature and responsible. So it's kind of funny, right? Because Sun and Jupiter are going to want you to be like partying, out and about, enjoying yourself, exploring, building in that way. And then Saturn descendant is like, how do I bring you down a level and make sure you're focusing on your day-to-day responsibilities? Let me also see what you got going in New York. You and Saturn, my friend. Jesus. So here in New York, you have a soulmate line. Did you meet your partner while you were living in New York? This is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. Whether the person comes from the location or you met them while in the location. Now, there is a little bit of a challenge in terms of relationships here, but it's okay. It's nothing heavy. It's just making sure that you know how to communicate with your partner, right?
My mom done up this room, and isn't it so cute now? I don't know if I vlogged it, but I painted these ceilings white sometime last year. I'm about to get a psychic reading. This was never going to be a normal vlog, so I'm not even going to try and make it a normal format or make it resemble anything really to what I usually do, because times are weird. It'll be a good vlog for my weirdos and witches. I have been counting down the days for my reading with a immaculately gifted woman that I feel very connected to. Also, like Christine, you're my number one. Christine is a friend of mine. She is a psychic medium. I always have recommended her in the past. I do something like this about once a year. I feel like it gets me on track if I'm feeling unconfident in any areas, or like I need assistance, or tapping into blockages, or maybe even some healing. Become a part of my spiritual hygiene, I suppose, is just finding people that I trust, feel very, very connected to this person. I booked a reading a few weeks ago, I think, when everything was probably kind of up in the air, and I feel like now is a good time to have it. Like, I'm somewhat out of the other end of this whole situation with my dad's health, and just like the initial panic is over. We're kind of starting to find a routine now. It's still hard, don't get me wrong, and I think that that's where the reading is going to come in, because a good reader or a good intuitive or any job is to make you feel empowered. Everything has been so uncertain for me lately that I'm very happy to just kind of get some insight. You don't really need to look externally for these things. I am very grounded in myself. I say this lightly and I don't say it very often, but this person genuinely feels like a kindred spirit, and I've never even met her yet. Souls are very familiar. Go into these things with no expectations. I don't put too much weight on them, but I just know in my soul that this is going to be a beautiful reading. She is a psychic medium, but she also reads records. Some people call them the Akashic records. And I've never had that done. I'm gonna set you guys up somewhere comfortably. I need to figure this situation out because I do want to film some of it, because I just thought, like, I'm trying to post more what I find interesting, because I feel like that's always just the best place to be, even though it's not going to be for everyone. But hopefully I would like to think that most of you are somewhat curious cats. If you're still following, if you've just ever been intrigued in what a psychic reading is like, I'm hoping that this would just be a little insight into it. I've got my questions. It's like 7 or 8 kind of loaded questions. Go with her flow, go with her process, but I just thought it would be good to have questions. I am not about making psychics prove their powers. However, I did choose this sign, which is like the sign that I see every day. I've seen a butterfly every single day I've been home, just a singular butterfly. Symbolic animal that I look for, and when I see, I get a good feeling and it reminds me of someone very special to me. It's the sign that I've chosen for the universe to show me when I kind of need to see it. I already like meditated on the symbol of this blue butterfly, and if it comes up in the reading, it'll just be extra confirmation. Oh my god, I'm like nervous.
Good morning, Tara. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm so excited to connect with you.
I feel like a lot is coming to the surface. Wow. Okay. They call me Anastasia, but my other name is Lockway. It was given to me by my ancestors in a ceremony, and it means I'll try to condense it. It's very long, but it really means like the place where the waters of spirit meet the waters of the physical world. And Lockway is the spot in the middle of that where they converge. A space of prayer and healing. So all parts of you are welcome here. There's nothing too dark to bring to the table. There's nothing too sad or too much for this space. So I came up before the session, like intuitively, and then also I brought a couple of decks of cards with me. I don't always read cards in sessions, but I was just shuffling the deck and a bunch of cards jumped out. But first of all, from what I'm picking up on, I feel like your energy is cleaning me, like a physical, very real healing. It comes across as your energy being able to move processes in people's bodies. And I actually get the sense that what I'm feeling in my body is almost like I just got a massage. Like as if there had just been body work done on me. I also have this sensation like I'm about to move. Like I'm about to make a big decision, or I'm like looking for something, I'm looking for some clarity, and energy cleaning sensation that's coming through, I feel a little bit nauseous. It's not a bother to me. It doesn't feel like, sensations come and go in readings, and that's okay with me, but I literally get this feeling that I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to throw up. Is that it kind of looks like you've gone through a lot of rebirths. There's a lot of energy that's pointing you towards like honing in on your inner world and focusing on exactly what you want rather than looking at what other people believe is right for your life. And I also get the sense of you being a businesswoman of sorts. Like, I feel that you're meant to start your own, I heard the word enterprise, you're supposed to do your own work here. And I'm also feeling like, in terms of like larger career and like purpose, I feel like it all has to do with healing work and spiritual work. And I also feel that the energy is very comforting to me. I also feel like a little bit of this jittery energy coming through too, that's making me feel like I need to move around a lot, or I need to fidget.
I think my throat is a little blocked. Oh my god, I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, that would be the nausea that I was feeling. It's like all the emotions that need to come out. Because I feel like you're not just grieving for yourself, but you're grieving for multiple people. I feel like I'm hearing people talking about me right now. Almost like I'm tuning into them like a radio. And I feel like they're just like these little snippets of whispers where I feel like I know people are talking about me, and I might not be exactly sure what they're saying, but it doesn't come across as very nice to me. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I think you might be reflecting parts of other people that they need to witness within themselves.
Your energy is so like overwhelmingly beautiful that it just like it just brought everything up straight away. I was like I was kind of talking to my body. The whispers thing probably comes as a part of my job, so I am like an online kind of personality, but I genuinely like I do think I don't really give much thought to whispers or what people think of me. It's just I've kind of gone so far feeling that, because I know that it gets in the way of being my true self if I kind of feed into those things. Yeah, I think just so much has happened in my life, it's just what people think is kind of inconsequential. My own grief, but also I think other people's grief. Oh God, Tara, come on, get it together. Understanding that you're always where you're meant to be, and how things will happen and how things unfold and how things may not be clear at the time, but they always kind of, you know, that they happen for you, not to you.
Your parents, it almost feels like, I feel like you three you remind me of like the Holy Family, taking very, very good care of each other, like having a very, very good support system with one another. Like that's where a lot of the throat chakra blockages are coming from, because I feel like you're all releasing for a lot of people. Like with the deep compassion that you have, I feel like that also comes through your parents, and that's sort of the energetic gift that they pass along to you. And I'm hearing that it's a medicine. So when you have a medicine in your family, it's a little bit different from like a psychic gift, how people say that like it runs in the family. A medicine is something that people subconsciously or consciously pass down to their children. It's something to be taken care of. What I'm hearing is that you're all fully prepared to help your father with this, and to be there for him in energetic support, because you've been prepared as a medicine person. And I don't take that phrase very lightly. It's not something that everybody can embody, but that's the compassion that you're carrying, is understanding from our Creator's perspective of what we go through and how we can support one another back in homelands and connecting to the earth, and actually inviting Mother Gaia to come through the soil and to support this process. Because I feel like Ireland is the place that's open within a very large ancestral portal that's available for you. It comes across as if the land has invited your parents to stay there because the land specifically wants to heal them. I also feel like there are ancestral traditions that are coming up through the land energy of Ireland that will be useful in supporting your healing, your father's healing, your mother's healing. And I'm also hearing something about a sweat lodge. I feel like it might be called differently in Ireland, but I'm hearing that it's an actual tradition that comes from Ireland, whether it's sweat lodge or sauna or something like that. I feel like that's instrumental in you processing this emotion, because what I'm hearing is that you're having talks with the spirits themselves, and you're having a direct communication with the spirits that are orchestrating this healing for your father. So what I'm hearing is that it's also a bit of an initiation for all of you, of your mother putting forth all of her energy to be that supportive person that your father needs, being placed to support as the medicine woman who's communicating with the spirits and who's keeping an eye on everything that's happening. And I'm hearing that's a huge responsibility, but it's necessary in this process. I'm also hearing that your presence is also very, very, very deeply appreciated by your father. I'm hearing that you don't necessarily have to do so much healing modality on him. It will be useful. It'll be helpful if you choose to do that and if he's receptive to it. But what I'm hearing is that your physical presence is the most healing thing to him. And I also feel a really deep amount of gratitude from his heart. You know, I feel like you have a rare family dynamic that you're able to pass along to other people of what a healthy family should be looking like. It is unconditional love that creates miracles. Oh, okay. I have, okay, there's a really special presence here with us. He does not come in often, but I consider him to be my grandpa. He passed away a couple years ago. He was a roadman. So he was a Native American medicine man, and he's from my Dakota family. And I feel him with us. And something he said to me often in ceremonies is, love is a miracle. Love creates miracles, and love is all that you need. I feel like he might go to take care of him, because what I'm hearing is that the fireplace is with your father right now. The fireplace, what I'm hearing is that you do have it together. Every time that your emotions come through, that is you having it together, and that's you fulfilling the energies of healing that need to work through you. So what I'm hearing is that with the air sign placements as well, the air signs that you have are deeply compassionate. Like, they can be very logical, and they can be very structured, and they can be very 3D based, but what I'm hearing is that they also carry a gift within themselves of carrying a very deep compassion and understanding of human nature, is allowing the emotions to come through. And what I'm hearing is that sometimes the emotions will not have a reason to come through. Like, you won't know why you're crying at a certain moment, and you won't really have like a moment to pin down onto that. It's almost this desire to encourage people to speak up for themselves through you setting the example of speaking up and processing through yourself. Oh, I actually posted a little TikTok reading yesterday where there was a butterfly over somebody's throat chakra. And I'm feeling like the butterfly that I saw was for you. funny too because I'm sitting on my back porch for this reading, and there was a big black swallowtail butterfly that was kind of fluttering in the air before me just about 10 minutes ago.
I said,
and
that's so weird because before, you said meditate before getting in, right before. I mean, I've been meditating all day before, but right before this session, I visually sent you one in my mind's eye. That's wild.
I don't want to like push this, but the message is still coming up anyway, so I'll just share it. That like you've been together 3 years and you're meant to stay together. I also need to say too that like I get the message that things are being a little bit rushed because I'm just here it's in the highest interest. Like it's not truly a rush. It's more like Spirit is saying all of these things are available to you and you're just welcome to receive them. Okay. You're welcome to have them. Like it can happen on a greater, like a longer timeline if you were to prefer that. But I feel like this is an empowering narrative for you of like flowing with this energy and through how much you've prepared that has accelerated you forward with the inner work that you've been doing over the last years. It feels almost like, yeah, like I mentioned before, like you have a toolbox and you're prepared with this. I feel like this is what the toolbox is for. You need to express the emotions. That's going to be what's cleaning up your heart chakra a little bit. That'll bring it through. Or did I say heart chakra?
I think you did, yeah.
Okay, all right. Apparently we're going into heart chakra too. Guiding people, the work that you've been doing, the journey that you go through with your parents. There's this magic sparkle in the air that just keeps reminding me of miracles. And I almost feel like for as emotional as this energy can be, I feel like Spirit is like calling me to look over that and look into the distance. And there's like this shimmer of energy in the air that's like, that's where we're headed. And we have to go through this moment to get to that shimmer. And the tools that we receive through these moments are going to help us with the shimmer. And that's going to help us to spread that energy around the world and support people in their healing.
For quantum healing hypnosis technique. So I feel like I do have like an aptitude for doing it for other people, for conducting the sessions. I'd just like to know if there's anything that Spirit can share about the experience that I had with it.
It's just pointing me towards channeling. I know you're asking me this one question, but I keep being drawn to saying, oh my gosh, it's your throat and it's the channeling. Almost like you're ready to like break open and start saying things like the spirits want to speak through you. And it does sound like, I'm wondering if you're Arcturian, actually. Are you very familiar with like being starseed?
Oh my god, I cannot believe you just said Arcturian. Hey, this is Tara post psychic reading. So just to further add to like another layer of my psychic reading, I knew I had something in my phone. This is a note that I wrote in 2021. It says nothing but Arcturian connection. Nothing is in the note. That's all it says. Time doesn't exist in any dimension, only the one that we're in. Technically, a reading on some plane had already happened, and that my higher self knew that this little reminder would be something that I would consider a little sign, a little confirmation. Be not get too wrapped up in starseed stuff, because I'm just like, I can kind of see people getting carried away with it. So everything you're saying kind of makes sense in that both of us might have the same background.
Every Arcturian I've met has either been Native American or they have an incredibly strong connection and respect for the cultures.
Hoping to go to those areas before the end of the year, so I think now I'm just gonna like make it happen.
You'll receive some really strong codes and downloads from that, or rather activations, because I think it's already inside of you. And thank you for following your heart's calling, because this is such a beautiful session and I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. I already feel lighter after it, so there's some revelations in there that are not going to be included in this video. Telling you guys I was using the butterfly as a symbol that I hoped would come up in the session, just for like a little bit of my own confirmation, because for you guys as well to see that there are people out there that genuinely can tap into this energy. And that I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to make some of these changes overnight. Like, I hate change. So, but I do know that change is coming. And the more that I flow with it, the more I think I'll be rewarded for it. But yeah, when you're stepping off into that like unknown point, it is tough. Just know I'm a very like need to rip the band-aid off type of person. So much of my jittery energy and my emotional energy that I had at the start is now alleviated so much more. Insane. I would definitely recommend Anastasia. I found her on TikTok, so I'll leave her TikTok down below if you want to check out her vibe, but I will leave, if she has a website, I'll just leave it down below. And I really didn't have to wait that long for a booking. So if you're watching this and it's just up and you're thinking about it, do it now, because I have a feeling by the time the end of this video goes up, you guys are going to blow up her booking page, and she deserves it. The thing about being in Ireland is that I never feel pretty. Like, I never feel like my best. I've kind of just been slobbing it out for pretty much the past month. Before I have a chat with you, I do want to thank our sponsors today, Squarespace. Honestly, thank God I work with people that are able to just let me talk about whatever I want, because this has been a very like deep vlog. So to be able to still have a community where I can come on and just be real and share what's really going on in my life and still have sponsors that support me, it's so yeah, if you are in need of a website, please check out our sponsors, Squarespace. They're your all-in-one platform to make any kind of website that you need from start to finish. So many of you guys have started your own websites because of this little sponsorship. Basically, if you don't know where to start in terms of creating your slice of the internet, Squarespace just has it all. They have the templates that help kind of get you started. They're fully customizable. Different styles of websites, whether it be e-commerce, a blog, e-portfolios to display your work. I've actually even seen people use them for like wedding RSVPs, all sorts of stuff. The limits are endless. Maybe you just need a little slice of the internet where people can find you. They kind of have it all. I actually have a store with Squarespace called loversunday.com. I think it looks pretty good, and I did it all myself. They have 24/7 support along with other additional features like memberships and subscriptions to create exclusive content for your audience. With my link, you get a 2-week free trial to just play and tinker around and see if you like it. It's squarespace.com/Tarmer. It's in the top line of the description. And if you decide to push your website live, you'll actually get 10% off your future billing with code Tarmer. Probably should have had a few sips of coffee before I did that. Oh, honestly guys, coffee is one of the few things I'm living for right now. Before I had that psychic reading, I actually did a fun little astrocartography session as well. It was just like this little quick 10-minute reading thing. That's why I always recommend, like, even if you have a QHHT session with me, constantly go back and listen to the recording, because you'll pick up on minute details that seem irrelevant at the time, then a few days later they sort of make sense. I think I also said this in my last video in the Q&A when it comes to astrology and anything in regards to like predicting your future or working with people that have these gifts, is that you should always remember that you're your own sovereign being, and these things are only a suggestion and a guide, and you always have your own free will to do what feels right. You have to listen to your emotions. You have to listen to what you feel ready for. You know, if someone tells you to jump off a cliff, like, you're not going to jump off a cliff. You have to like put what's right for you at the forefront. I think I have quite a healthy relationship in terms of working with these different modalities and taking them as really, really good suggestions, but also kind of listening to my inner voice and my inner intuition and what feels right. A bit that I've like pulled out, but I kind of wanted to keep as much of the interesting stuff in. Definitely some like what people would consider far-fetched stuff in there towards the end of the reading. I don't know if I've included it or not, but because I operate in a far-fetched space with all of the work that I'm doing and all the things I'm interested in, it's really not that weird or strange to me, some of the things that she said, and a lot of it made sense with things that I've been drawn to for a long time. A few videos back when I said I got this bracelet that I felt like very drawn to Native American culture. Nice to kind of have that feeling validated by somebody that's kind of in that community. I actually did my mom's QHHT last night. I did a hypnosis session on her, and her first past life was something she always felt connected to. She always used to daydream about being this little Native American girl, this woman. That was her very first past life that she went into. It was very vivid. Chances of us all having these experiences in simultaneous lives, because you know, time is not real, it's an illusion. Acceleration in my potential plans going forward. My mind is kind of like one in my friend group that knows me closely, and like my boyfriend knows that I am a problem solver and I'm a planner. I'm a very quick thinker and I can come up with solutions very fast. I'm finding it really hard to put all of those pieces into a compromised package. What I'm trying to say is I'm in a position right now to make decisions that I didn't think I'd need to make for like another 10 years. 40s. The position I'm in is very similar to what you'd expect of like children making decisions, dealing with sort of elderly parents. What I'm talking about right now may not be relevant for all of you right now. I honestly hope most of you are out there living your best lives, but I do know a chunk of you are understanding what I'm talking about. It's just like a part of life. It's a part of growing up. It's gonna catch up with us all at some point. So even though most of you are out there having your best life, and this is not about being a Debbie Downer video or feeling heavy, I do think that there's still something from this video that you can put into your back pocket that will maybe come in handy for the future. The entire time home has been a roller coaster. I think I've experienced every type of emotion every single day that I've been here to the extremes. I literally meditated in the rain today because I can't function without it now. To my own inner voice a lot, and I do think all of the signs are pointing to me being able to go in a few days next week. I got some comfort from doing my mom's QHHT and the insight that we got from that, and we have both been putting like just plans into place to make things easier when I'm not here. I'm having a lot of anxiety about how my content is going to be and how it's going to look. I know that I have lots of plans for more energy talks, bringing more to my channel about things that I am really passionate about. However, it does terrify me because New York is such a big part of my content, why people followed me, how people found me. I just need to know from you guys that you love me for me, that you're here to hear me talk. Any comforting words about being open to my content and like the vibe maybe changing would be very much welcomed. It would be very much welcome. Coming from someone who hates discomfort. Why my little haven in New York is kind of like an insane asylum. It's to keep me very sane. I know it gives padded room vibes, but it's because like I enjoy seeking peace and zen and serenity and quiet. I love to say like it was super peaceful, but like I had the biggest breakup of my life in that apartment. Saturn return, all of the things. Whole life can't be about running away. That this is something that would really resonate with a lot of people coming into their 30s or in their even mid 30s. I know there's a lot of you guys actually that are like in your 40s and 50s that watch me too, so hey to that fam. I appreciate you guys too. You always leave like the sweetest comments. I always say like use your 20s like as much as you can because when you do get to this like 30-ish age, shit starts getting like real, and the things that are out of your control just start coming from all angles, and I think it kind of never stops from that point. Especially this whole experience of being home this time, strength and my courage has really been tested. Even though I find that I'm someone that feels like avoidant and almost a little bit cowardice when it comes to like dealing with difficult things, like it's just natural, you know, you don't want to put yourself in uncomfortable positions. The opposite of what you feel is generally the tonic for removing that feeling. Once you do dive headfirst into something that you're absolutely terrified of, after that you're kind of like not as fearful because you've accomplished it, you've done it, and you're on the other side, and you kind of feel like you can take on anything, even if it's terrifying. It alleviates that avoidance, it alleviates that cowardice sometimes that you can feel. One of the hardest things I've done in my life this past 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We've been through it as a family multiple times. This was a massive spiritual awakening for me. It's just, you go through multiple, like I think people think like spiritual awakening happens like once and then you're just like, oh, quote unquote awakened. You will go through multiple things in your life that would just split your heart open and you're just a new person after it. So I'm going to end on the note that I feel like has been stuck. It's just been like a slogan that's just stuck in my head all day. All week, I mean. Pain is a portal. We don't enjoy painful experiences. They always find us and they always force us into new chapters and into growth. Right? All of the crap that's been going on, I do know a new chapter is about to start for me. This has completely renewed my perspective, my energy, how I want to tackle things, how I want to use my time. Like I've been at this like stagnant spot where I'm just like, I don't know why things aren't clicking. It's like I'm on the precipice of something constantly and it just never breaks through. And now I just feel like after this experience, I've broken through and just the world is my complete oyster now because nothing is scary. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care. I'm just going to do what I want to do. Put what I'm about to say in your back pocket for later if it's not relevant for you right now. If you are going through it, if everything is falling apart, if everything is crumbling and you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel, just know that this always happens before a miracle takes place. As always stood to be true is that right before something amazing is about to happen in your life, everything will feel like it's falling the fuck apart. Obviously, we shouldn't experience discomfort and pain when we don't need to, but when we do, just know something amazing and better is on the other side of it. You'll be rewarded for how you hold yourself through that time. Leveled up, and I did what I needed to do, and I'm trying not to be scared about the future as somebody that just loves having a clear path ahead. My best to navigate this and take you guys along for the journey, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna go make some roast chicken and stuffing sandwiches for my family, and I'll see you guys back in New York. Bye.